welcome to Football 301. I am your host, Nate Tice. I'm with Charles McDonald, and we're coming to you right after Sunday Night Football. It's time for the late hit. Yes, the late hit. Texans win 20-10 over the Chiefs at Arrowhead. Sunday Night Football. The Texans are basically a 87% chance to make the playoffs now, and the Chiefs fall to a 15% chance, currently in the 10 seed. Chuck, good to see you again after we had our little live recap show of Week 14. Good to see you. What'd you think about that game?
Wow. There's so many places to go from, wow, that Texas defense is ridiculous, to, wow, free Patrick Mahomes, because it's going to get lost to time. Like, the box score is going to be what stands tallest, and you're just going to see that. But just really let down by the receivers today. Rashee Rice, that might be the worst game I've seen him play. Maybe his whole career. Like, it just, like, plays that he has made before didn't finish. And then Kelsey at the end, the two drops on the targets, the last one leading to the interception that iced it. It was more Texans defense being good, but man, there were spots that they could have they could have converted some stuff, and they didn't. And I think that's really disappointing for the Chiefs, because up until like this game, the supporting cast has been a lot better than last year, but it just kind of ran to be too much, and can't get over your own mistakes against defense like this.
Yeah, it was. So the Texans have been kind of crescendoing maybe a little bit on offense, and their defense though is just such a gigantic needle mover. So you're going against this Chiefs team that is just like, it feels flawed, even though like the underlying numbers we point out, we're like, hey, the offense does this, the offense does that, and it just, you feel the difference in a game like tonight, and you feel how slow the offense feels. Yes, they're missing both their tackles. That has to be said, and God, now you say Frank Caliendo, so I want to say Frank Caliendo. Mike Caliendo is at guard.
Really, Mike Caliendo, right?
Mike Caliendo. He's doing his best impression of a right guard. And so we have that going on that Chiefs offense, where Noah Gray's getting important targets. And then so it's like, all right, well, it has to be 75, 80% Travis Kelce, who had two drops at the end there. And it's just, he's 36. He's my age. That's just how it is these days. And Rashee Rice, though, has to be an important player. And Xavier Worthy have to be important players. Like, they have to move the needles. Like, somebody has to create something. And you can just feel the frustration. Like, I do want to talk about the Texans and just like how good they look. I mean, we talk about later in the show, or we talked about earlier, I guess, time warp of these shows, is that the AFC is just so flawed. And so if you just have a supernova unit like the Texans have on that defense, it's like, that's as good of a chance as anybody. But with the Chiefs, though, it's just watching this team, it just, the defense, we mentioned on a pregame show, or the preview show, just like, the blitzing isn't working. Their strengths aren't their strength anymore. They're missing chances. They're missing the fourth downs. They're having drops. The deep ball to Tyquan Thornton just doesn't happen. They're allowing third downs on defense. They're just not the same kind of team that has just that over the top talent, or over the top something, I guess. Mahomes is doing all he can, but Travis Kelce is not what he was. And Chris Jones, I think the best summary of Chris Jones is he absolutely dominated at Ingram, but then he just couldn't finish. And then like CJ Stroud's getting escaping and making a couple good throws and everything, but it was just, they just feel just like a truly a shell of their former selves, even though they're still like pretty good, but they're not what they were, anywhere close to what they were.
If you're walking into that game against that defense with two backup tackles, it's going to be tough. Like, I mean, they only got him on the ground twice. And it was
a lot of affected, just a lot of
a lot of affected,
just like his arm was getting hit and he's just missing off, and
and he still gave them like a pretty good chance to survive against that onslaught.
Always.
Like that was that, the numbers are the numbers, and that's going to get lost. But like, man, that was a heavyweight matchup between Mahomes and Daniil Hunter and Will Anderson. Like, that's That's what we come here for, man.
Might as well merge them. Might as well merge them. They're a two-headed monster.
I was like, well, close enough. Close enough. But watching those three kind of interact with each other and how that changed the game was really cool to see. And then even you even had plays where like Mahomes is staying alive versus pressure and guys are just dropping the balls. Like, man, he's still giving you as good a chance as you could have in those circumstances, and just couldn't close. So it's tough because I'm like, man, on one hand, I really would not expect the Chiefs supporting cast like to have a game that like critically bad again. But shit, you're 6-7 now.
Yeah, I mean,
6-7 now. Like you need to win out basically.
1 in 10 chance to make the playoffs. 15% chance.
They need to win out.
I mean, and they need help. I thought the sequence that kind of was like, and the kind of just was kind of like indicative of everything was kind of going on was the 4th and 4, and they had to burn a timeout. The Chiefs did, even though they definitely won all 3 timeouts with 5:30 left at their own 41. And I think Andy Reid said no, we're not going for it. And then Mahomes wouldn't come off the field. And he was like, give me a play. Give me a play. And so they had to burn a timeout there.
I'm not going.
And that was right before basically that's what he did. He was like, I'm not going. I mean, it's just like my 3-year-old. And then Rashee Rice dropped off. That was the play he dropped over the middle of the field. And I was just like, man, that's not good vibes right there. He's waving the pitch and waving, not coming off the field, and then they have to burn a timeout. You could see them panicking. They come together. They're kind of like, all right, here, let's figure this out. All right, but also just talking about like the Chiefs, like Rice has to be very good to for this to work, because I just don't think anybody else on this roster can have the effect that he has on this game. But today is like the difference between what a truly elite unit going against a pretty good unit. Again, hurt tackles. Mahomes, when he wasn't blitzed, that's what's so powerful about with the Texans defense. They don't have to blitz, and they can play man coverage down after down. Mahomes went 12 of 27, 3 picks, 19.8 passer rating when he was not blitzed. He was sacked twice, pressured 15 times when the Texans did not blitz, and he was 0 for 3 when they did blitz, so it didn't really matter. But Mahomes versus man coverage was 6 of 16, 94 yards, sacked twice. He was pressured 12 of 18 dropbacks against man coverage. It's just no one could win. So he's trying to, and then he would step up. And then here comes one of them one of the demons looping around and hitting his arm. And it felt like it was just deja vu. It was just like the same sequence happening, and the ball would flutter over usually to the left or something. And I mean, the Texans can just throw those guys at you, and the DBs as well. And they make plays on the ball, and they 3 picks. I mean, I actually think Collinsworth brought up a great point. They don't drop those opportunities. They get a lot of hands on the balls, and then they come down with the ball. Yeah. It's just the last interception was great. That was just a great play too.
And the pass breakup he had on Tyquan Thornton, punched it out of his hands. Yeah. Almost should have been. Tyquan, man, you got to catch that one, bro. You got to get strong, man. You got to catch it. You got to catch that.
We've mentioned so much Tyquan Thornton. You got to come down with those.
You got to catch that one. I mean, it's just that was one of those receivers get paid too. Come on, earn your keep out. Fight out, right. Fight there. It's right in your hands, and it's an incredible play by Lassiter. But man, if the Chiefs are going to get out here, you got to convert those plays. Like it's right in the breadbasket. My Hail Mary, I had a few close ones today. The Tyquan Thornton, if he had held onto that one, that would have hit for a Hail Mary. And then there was like a 35-yard pass. I don't remember. I think it was to Hollywood that he slipped on. I'm like, damn it, keep running. That would have been the 50. That would have been the 50 I needed.
I know.
And then there was a Mahomes scramble under pressure. And he ducked out of bounds, and we could have kept going. Yes. And I was like, God, dude, so close, so close. And but it does. It was interesting to see it play out because they do get pressure so fast sometimes that things just break down everywhere for offense and defense. Yep. You can kind of find something on the back end, but ultimately you're okay playing like that because you get to absolutely savage offenses. You'll live with those explosive plays because most of the time it's not happening.
That's it. Do it again. That's what they just basically say. They just say, you might get us once, but do it again. The other side of the ball, I thought it was interesting. the Texans offensive line has been improved, and this is what we keep talking about. And I even did a video on them. It's like, but they're like below average. And tonight, you could feel like, I was like, man, I think Ed Ingram's been playing better than the worst guard in football. I bet you they put Chris Jones over him. And boy, did they put Chris Jones over him. he had a very long night against Chris Jones, but Chris Jones couldn't finish on him. But then they kept blitzing, and they did like a sequence coming back from commercial. I mean, I'll look at it all 22, but we go live right after. Is that all the blitzes were just protection beaters? Like one after another. It was a Spags clinic in the second half. Stroud versus Blitz tonight, 5 of 13, 78 yards, pressured 11 times, 1 sack. He was pressured 19 times, 11. Yeah. And it was like it was like a clinic tape of like, how do you beat this? Want not get too nerdy into it, but like there's different 6-man protections if you're in 3x1 or 2x2, or different stuff hurts it. And it was like, all right, they showed 2x2, and then here comes the blitz from each side, like a saw. And it was like the next play, 3x1. Okay. And then here comes like an overload to the running back side. And I was just like, Spags was like, okay, you guys are improved with that protection scheme, but I'm going to show you some real stuff. And it was just like, let's see 301. Like, let's see you answer this exam. It was pretty funny because they showed a sequence of all the pressure it was getting, but I definitely felt on that side of the ball too.
Yeah, fun game. It was the entertainment, selfish part of my brain. I still want to see the Chiefs get in there because I would like to see if they could just gut out another run. Man, like you just gotta get healthy. You gotta get healthy. Yeah, that's where it starts. Today, man, you got backup tackles versus those guys. Come on,
it's the worst possible matchup. Yeah, and it's just that, man, they just need a couple dudes. It's the Karloff he got too much slander, I thought, last week, but it's like, I don't know, they just don't have like that guy that I'm like really scared of. They need a back too. That's what they really need.
Yes,
Kareem Hunt had that one
so
drop.
Bad.
Every time he gets a short yardage touch, I think of you, but like they need a back because there's opportunity. Like even today, there was some opportunities there. Like you can run on the Texans defense a little bit, even though it's just incredible. But it's just, no one's making just that play pop. Like even Xavier Worthy on his good plays, he's not like he's one-on-one with the safety and he just like dives forward. And it's just like, like, can you make a guy miss in space? Like just once, like just get a few more yards, create something out of here.
It should not be this hard when your quarterback's Patrick Mahomes, and I think they need to think more seriously about that, like that fact. Yeah,
maybe even missing a playoffs is like that's how you get the mouthwash,
a little medicine.
Like, okay, all right, this is legit.
At the end of the day, like, dude, they're 6-7, and their point differential is like what, plus 60? Yeah, plus 63. I think
actually.
Yes, because they were in the 70s before this game.
I know. But you just watch him play, like you watch Mahomes play, and you just feel like that he has to just carry everything. And that's the thing is the defense. I just ragged on them blitzing, and then they blitz like crazy tonight, and it was good. It was like, okay, maybe you do have some stuff, and maybe you have Noah Williams figuring it out. Either way, we'll probably talk
Chiefs
more Chiefs playing Chiefs.
Yeah. Chiefs have a higher point differential than the Jaguars this year.
That feels right.
They're plus 63. That's good for what, 9th in the NFL? It's ridiculous. 6-7. They're just surrounded by all the playoff teams. They lost, losing every single one-score game this year, and they won 11 of them last year.
And they play a gauntlet of schedule. That's all these teams do. It feels like.
Maybe a little second place schedule.
So Texans are 9 out of 10 times making it based on the odds right now. Oh, they got Cardinals, Raiders, then Chargers, and then Zombie Colts. So they are probably they got a golden ticket. And that's what the Texans got right now. Dude, I feel as good about them as anybody. I just keep saying that. We were talking about with the Bills.
It
was just like,
they got trump cards.
Yeah, right. That's basically just what we got to figure out. All right, who are the trump cards? They got a defense that's a trump card, and then they got a quarterback that can win you games. I mean, Nico Collins is still awesome. I think all the receivers are just like coming in their own. Like the roles are making sense. So I don't know. I'm feeling good about the
Iowa State duo. Higgins is having a nice little run too. Mm-hmm. They're figuring it out. It's a lot better than it was at the start of the year.
Yes. Yes. Yeah, I mean, now that like even how they have Noel getting in there, they gave him the handoff, didn't they? That got blown up. That was
Well, I
like
rewatched it. There was like some defensive end because the tackle was pulling out on the sweep, but his defensive end on a wide receiver who just threw the receiver into the tackle, and there was no one to actually get to the edge. So that's why it was 1-on-1. You got a receiver
just
on
domino down.
Receiver on a D end, and your play's dead.
Yeah,
you blocked your teammate, man. There's no one there to get that guy.
Especially when sometimes you see that some guys are so smart and they see that motion coming. So they're like, oh, gee, I wonder, are we going this way? Like, am I about to get blown up right here, pinned right here?
Wait, you weigh 100 pounds less than me? I'm going to throw you into your teammate real quick.
Like just like one army over there. No, I don't know. Rewatching the Texans versus Colts last week and a couple of the recent games, because that's when Stroud came back, and then just seeing how the lines kind of really come together. And I like the Chiefs defense isn't bad. It's more average-ish, but it's like, they did enough. And the Chiefs were throwing also the kitchen sink, and Spags was, and that's why I just feel good about them. They're not going to really get tested for a couple weeks. So Chargers right after Christmas, no disrespect to the Cardinals and the Raiders, but it's like, that's kind of like when we kind of like get to peek in to them again. But hey, Texans are alive. Just got to get to the dance. Any other last thoughts? Chiefs, Texans?
No, we got a hell of a month ahead, because that AFC race is jam-packed tight.
Messy.
And I'm still not giving up on this Chiefs team. I still can't do it. Not until there's an E next to their name in the standings. I won't do it.
They can
still do this. They can still do this.
What is this?
I know I sound crazy and delusional. This is my fandom. I'm a Patrick Mahomes stan. This is my cross to bear. It's the same thing.
They have Chargers next week. Basically, loser leaves town. Okay. Well, kind of. Chargers have other ways. But then Titans, Broncos at home on Christmas, and then at Raiders to end the season. So they're very live, but they just need a little bit of help. Whew. I'm not ready to count them out either. It's at 15%, but I do feel much better about the Texans right now. That defense is just ridiculous. But yeah, that was a fun Sunday night football game. That was fun to close out. Well, little garnish at the end of today of week 14. Next up is 3 highs, 3 lows. Charles and I got together live on YouTube to react to week 14. It was a fun day. Fun, all this. Both of them. Green Bay and Chicago, a nice little late afternoon game. We got the Jags beating the Colts, Daniel Jones injury. We touch on that. And Falcons, of course, because Chuck is here. Ravens, what the heck's going on with you as the Steelers take a hold of the AFC North? That conversation is coming up right after the break.